So we were continuing with Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. We had concluded last time, verse 27. Now in this we understood how the soul is unmanifest, where the soul comes from. The soul actually doesn't come anywhere. The soul exists as one alone. This is what we understood. Now we also understood that it is there everywhere. Everywhere. So there is no place where it is not. And it cannot be cut, it cannot be destroyed, nothing can be done to the human soul or any other soul for that matter. There are no individual souls, please understand. But for the purpose of understanding, we have to say that there are individual souls. So they are called Jivatma. So when we say Jiv Atma and we say Param Atma, the Jiv Atma means the one which is alive in a so-called body. It has taken a form. So it is called a manifest. So we are going to understand today how this manifestation happens. Alright? So now let us begin today's satsang. We are doing Srimad Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse 28 onwards. Arjuna, before birth, beings are not manifest to our human senses, or death. On death they return to the unmanifest again. They are manifest only in the interim between birth and death. What occasion then for lamentation? So let us try to understand this sentence. Think, where were you before you were born? Alright? So before you took birth in your mother's womb, you were there and you came out in this world. Where were you? This is a very difficult question to answer because the answer will be I don't know. And when a person dies, where does that person go? This is also an extremely difficult question to answer because we will have no understanding where were you before birth and where did you go after death. These are two sides of it. So Shri Krishna says, you manifested. Manifestation, it is something like, have you seen, you take a bottle of water and just keep it still for a minute to in very deep freeze. You will find that if you remove the bottle of water outside, you can see the liquid inside. But you just shake it little bit. You will find that it forms ice instantly. Have you noticed this? So suddenly, this particular bottle of water became ice. Now you keep it outside. After that it becomes water, right? Now let us take it on a grander scale, on a big scale. If I take the water of all the oceans and there are these different breeze, the waves are there, the breeze is there, it is taking this water to the north and to the south. You have heard about this, isn't it? So now let us say if the water is going towards the north, at a certain place the water will freeze and become a very big iceberg, isn't it? Now I drag the iceberg, say near the Pacific Ocean or some such say Indian Ocean. Tell me, if it melts, where did the water go? So you will find that before it became an ice, I had no idea about that, which part is going to become ice. Is that correct or no? But when it became ice, it got a shape or no? It took a shape. And when again it dissolved, did the shape last? No. It's a very simple thing. I don't know where the shape disappeared. So now think like this. The water manifested as ice, took a form or a shape, and then it dissolved. Where did it go? No idea whatsoever. This is an example for you to understand how the soul is. Did the soul actually become a body? No. It took a shape. It took a shape. And then the shape dissolved and you became the fluid state. Fluid. Like an Atma. It is a fluid state. There is no way in which you can catch it. It became unmanifest. I don't know where it went. So, it is only in this interim period from birth to death did you exist. Now, I am going to ask you a question and it is going to be very tough to answer. Think about it. You are so confident when you were born to a mother that you are that woman's and that man's child. You are so confident, isn't it? And after you die, what happens? Do you still carry that idea that I am that woman's and that man's child? Do you carry this ideation? Absolutely not, because you will now get a new body. And that new body can be of a goat. So who becomes your father and mother? A new goat, a he goat and a she goat becomes your father and mother. So which father and mother are you thinking are your own? The goat parents are your own? Or the physical, that is the human parents are your own? And maybe in the previous life you were a monkey or a donkey or something like that. Your monkey parents were your own. And prior to that you were something else. Which parents do you think are your own? So this kind of an anomaly that is there, you take it for granted that that is my father, that is my mother. Even that father and mother have no astitva. Astitva means existence. Because before birth and after death, your father and mother also never existed. So why are we so het up about thinking that this is my father and this is my mother? And then some child comes out of your body and you think that this is my baby. So where was this baby before it was born? Can you please tell me? Huh? Your husband was very small boy. You were a small girl. So you think you are like a Russian doll carrying the baby inside of you? No. Then what makes you think that the baby was inside of you? There is nothing like that. And before you were born, where was the baby? No idea. And where were you? So this anomaly is there where human beings have no idea whatsoever. We take it so much, that, this is my father and mother. This is my brother. This is my sister. This is my husband. This is my children. These are my, my relatives. We take it so sure that they are somebody related to us. Whereas in reality, there is nobody related to you. Maybe the dog on the road is related to you. More than your parents are related to you. How do you know that? You take the dog from the road and you bring him home and you take care of him. A pariah, a dog which is there. In your last life, he could have been your husband, no? You were a dog yourself and he could have been your husband. That is why you're taking care of him this time. So you should be more in love with him than your current husband. I hope you are getting the picture. This kind of a problem is there in this world which we cannot understand. And God Himself, that is Sri Krishna Himself, is telling you what makes you think that you are somebody's child and somebody's husband and somebody's wife and somebody's children you are having. Sorry, you are completely mistaken. Otherwise, tomorrow everything in the world will call it its own. Imagine your own cell phone will say, no, my mother lives in China. How does your mother live in China? I was born in China. It's made in China is written on that, no? So the phone was made in China, so it is born in China. What nonsense is that? It is manifested, and after 2 years you just give away your phone to some other company, or maybe it gets destroyed. Are you even bothered about it? You buy a new one, isn't it? You are not so much in love with the phone, but when it is there, you are deeply in love with it. My iPhone. You see, if you have an iPhone, you are so much bothered about it. But 5 years from now, you won't even care for your phone, isn't it? It is the same thing. When you passed your SSC, that is your school examination, you were so much interested in your teacher, your friends in your class, and so on and so forth. Now 20 years have gone by, 20 years since you have passed and gone. You don't even know what your teacher is doing. You have not gone back to your school. You don't even care about what subjects are being taught. All your friends have gone all over the world. You don't even know whether they exist or don't exist. Sometime, somewhere, somebody will meet you. Yeah, you know that Sheila, she was there in our class. No, she is now staying in Houston. Oh, really? Yeah, she got married. She got 2 children. That's it. That is all the care that you have about this person. And your teacher, oh, she died last year. Coronavirus. Oh, so sad to hear that. That is all you will say. You are not bothered about it. It's like that you meet people and then you forget about it. Same thing with a husband also. I will give you a very simple example. There was a man and a woman. They were very much in love with each other. They ran away from home, got married, and all that kind of thing happened, and had 2 daughters, very beautiful daughters. They were young, and many years went by. I think 16 or 17 years went by. And one day the man died on the operating table. Something happened to him, very minor thing. They went for operation. The anesthetist did a mistake and he died on the operating table. That woman was very distraught. She came to me and she cried. And she said, my husband died. I was so much in love with him. And I was in love with him. And this happened and that happened. And my children, what are they going to do? And things like that. All that happened. 6 months later, she's telling me, can you come and meet me? I said, okay, what happened? Some problem happened or what? No, I want to ask your advice. So what advice? My husband's friend was there. Now both these people were in love with me many years ago. But my husband, he was the first one to say, I love you, and we got married. Now this guy has come back. He loves my 2 daughters very well. Okay. And now he's in love with me, he's not got married and all that. What do you think I should do? I said, what do you think you should be doing? The fellow who died was my best friend, and this fellow, I don't even know him from Adam. So many years later, like 1 year later, I just left it at that. I said, you do what you want. Don't ask me this question. I was very upset, you see. That was because before Krishna Guruji came into existence, this happened. And then later on, 1 year later, she sent me her wedding card. Please attend my wedding. I'm getting married to this guy. I didn't attend the wedding. And 2 years later on, I went to meet them. And it was all lovey-dovey scene over there. She was literally in his arms and all that. They're doing all that shosha in front of me. I said, what is this? Filmy scenes or what? No, I just want to tell you. And then one year later, I said, today is your, that friend's birthday. I remember him a lot. There was no response from that woman's side. So what happened to that 16 years of love? By the way, it's not 16. 16 years they were married. 4 years before that. So total 20 years of marriage and love and care and this and that. And 2 children. Suddenly one fine day it disappeared. And then a new husband comes into the picture. And now we are happily married ever after. Really? So frivolous relationships? What is all that about? And then when I got into spiritual, I understood all these things because I was then, I was revamping the whole story of this person. Oh, it was like this. And then I understood what happened. There is no astitva when you are in that particular womb, you see. We start creating a vision for ourselves. I am this. It's all fake. We create fake personalities of ourselves. This is my father. This is my mother. This is how I am. And hang-ups. How can you talk to me like this? Have you seen? When people say something to you, you may say, no, you're not supposed to talk to me like this, as if you are some great sheikh. You're greater than Donald Trump of this world. You are nobody, not even known to anybody. Not even your neighbors know who you are. And yet you have such a big ego. I am the daughter of so-and-so. I am the father of so-and-so. What is that? Never get into that. That the reason is very simple. We should not bother about who, why, where, when we are. Got it? So he says, the next verse says, hardly some rare enlightened person perceives this soul as marvelous. Scarce another likewise speaks thereof as marvelous, and scarce another hears of it as marvelous, while there are some who know it not even on hearing of it. So he is given 4 examples over here. Now Shri Krishna is very smart. You see the way he puts it across is so very beautifully he puts it. He says this soul can be actually seen by one person. 1 in a gazillion. Not even a billion. Maybe 1 in a trillion can actually see the soul. Then he says, then 1 in a billion will speak of it. Okay? It is good. It is like God. They will speak of the soul as God. The third one will say, I heard that the soul is very, very powerful. Okay? The second one is 1 in a billion. The third one is 1 in a million. I have heard about it. And the fourth one is the trillions of people who have born on this planet Earth. Now you may say trillions, we have only few billion. No. This is from all the yugas, from past till today. People don't know what the soul is. So can you understand? To actually understand the soul, you have to become super intelligent. You have to become enlightened. Otherwise, yeah, there is a soul. So what is the big deal in that? तो मैं क्या करूं? I don't care. So Krishna says there is a soul. Okay, so what do you want me to do with it? This is the attitude human beings have. We don't care about it. We believe that, okay, so there is a soul. I am joining this class. What is the point? I will join the class after the class is over. Okay, I will be just thinking that there is a soul, maybe. But after that, I have got so much work to do in the kitchen, I have to clear up the kitchen. I have got, my children have to go to sleep. This has to happen. That has to happen. And yeah, finished. Soul is gone out of the window. This is how it happens. So if you really want to know God, then you have to do something very different. What he is saying is, have you heard of the Bhagavad Gita? Yes, I have heard that there is a very beautiful book called Bhagavad Gita written. I want to do that, How many of you, before you joined this class, thought that I want to do the Bhagavad Gita? Yeah, it's supposed to be a very interesting book. Krishna, and I saw that B.R. Chopra serial, very nice. That Krishna looked very cute, I feel that, a handsome guy. That is how you know Krishna. Maybe you watched in some film and you felt that, okay, I need to know a little bit. So you have heard of it, isn't it? So maybe you fall in the third category because you heard of it. Now you have to graduate into the next category, which is a higher one, where you know it is beautiful and it is really marvelous, and you want to describe him. See, when I say the soul, did you see I just jumped over to the name of Krishna? You see, the idea is the soul is Krishna. So now think of what these consequences are. Every human being who is born on this planet Earth, before today and tomorrow also, will have that divinity in them called the soul. Got it? But do we think, now I want you to look at yourself and say, I am Krishna. Doesn't look like from any angle you are Krishna, isn't it? No angle do I look like Krishna. I look like some person that I am calling myself. I call myself this, and that is my name. My name is this. Don't call me Krishna and all that, okay? Because you can't even visualize yourself as the essence of that soul, super soul, right? Second thing, how will you know yourself, who you are? You don't know anything about yourself, you just know you are somebody's daughter, somebody's sister, somebody's wife, somebody's grandmother. You have got what I am saying? Somebody's mother. We don't even know, we don't even think on those lines that I am an essence of Shri Krishna and I want to know myself. I want to see that Krishna within me. We don't even want to see that. That is the second type. But I heard Guruji say these words, there is Krishna in everybody. Till today I have not been able to find this Krishna within me. Because you see, I don't know how to play the flute, okay? And I lost my shape many years ago. Krishna's shape is like this. A poor fellow, he is having a good shape. Maybe he is going to the gym, but I to forget going to the gym. I don't even go there. So, we have this idea. And then, the next one is, I know myself very well. Our idea about Krishna is what? He performs miracles. See, the idea, always remember, God is equal to miracles. So if God is equal to miracles, Krishna performs miracles. I can't even tell my husband, kal hum log bahar jayenge, tomorrow we will go out for having dinner somewhere. I can't even say these words to him. Where is miracle going to happen in my life? I don't see any miracles happening. If Krishna was there, he would have just done like this and I would have gone out to, maybe have some good Chinese food or something like that outside. But it doesn't work like that. So I can't see myself as Krishna. Krishna is equal to miracles is wrong. So this also concept is not there. Then the third concept, that I perceive him, I can see him every day. Where is that concept? That concept doesn't even exist. So I will tell you one small story which is there in one of the scriptures. Now everybody knows Radharani. Okay, Radharani is known by, I guess, most of the people. Now this Radharani is a person who is not written about in any book. So whether it is Srimad Bhagavatam or any of the, even Bhagavad Gita, even Krishna story, there is no Radharani anywhere. But we believe in Radharani, isn't it? And how did that happen? Radharani's existence was not there prior to the 11th century. 11th century you have heard of, no? 10th, 11th, 12th. Now we are in the 21st, or soon we will enter 22nd. So 11th century, so 100,000 years ago, nobody knew about Radharani. So her existence is not there. Why? Because the first book of Radharani got written in 11th century. Which century? 11th century. So before that Radharani never existed. And then during the 16th and the 17th century, lot of people wrote about it. And by the 17th century, one person had gone to a place which was literally like a jungle. There was nothing there. Not even one village, not even one house was there. Believe me, this is how it was. So there was nothing over there. Nobody was there. So this person goes to a place in North India and he says, oh, this is the Yamuna river where Krishna was playing. This is the Vrindavan. This is the Gokul. You got what I am saying? He just went and identified. Chalo idhar Gokul hai. Chalo idhar Vrindavan hai. And he said these words. And then his disciples sat over there. What did they do? All his disciples. He had some 4-5 good disciples who went with him to this place. And they call it Brajbhumi. They called it Brajbhumi, okay? And Krishna was here. And Radharani was here. And somewhere in the 16th century, 16th, 17th century, he made that place into a very holy place. Called it Vrindavan. Now this particular place exists today. It is there today. So who is this person? He is called Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went from Bengal to this place and established this. But before he landed over there, there was no such place in existence. There was not even one village. There was not even one house over there. How did that place come up? You have to ask yourself this question. So Radharani came into the picture at that time and the stories were there. Now I want you to think about it. This is spiritual world. The existence of a soul. The soul can manifest itself. Take a form. So now I want you to think about it. Can the soul take a form of a village also? Can the soul take a form of a stone also? Can the soul take a form of a human being also? Yes, of course. Nobody says you can't. So Shri Krishna can take whatever form he feels like. He can split himself and become Radharani for all you know. Why are you bothered about it? A soul, which is a super soul, which we call as the Paramatma, is capable of doing anything. And so we believe in these concepts and we know that we have this kind of a thing. But have you seen him? The answer is no. I have not seen him. So, this verse he says, Hardly some rare enlightened person perceives this soul, Krishna, as marvelous. So you can't see him. You can't experience him. And because you can't experience Sri Krishna or Radharani, you start believing in the stories without having proof of the pudding. Isn't it important to have the proof of the pudding? Which means you want to see Krishna, isn't it? Isn't that how it works? I want to see God. I want to see this Atma. Then you are not this person then. The person that you think you are not him or her. No way. First start believing in this, that you are that divine person. You know how easy it is for us to believe in this? You know that? I know many of you are having children. Okay? So when you are having children, you know, we have various ceremonies before wedding, during wedding, after wedding. God Bharna ceremony and all that, you know that, no? When the child is to be born, the 7th month ceremony, this ceremony. Do you know at that time you dress up very nicely with some sari and you have that nariyal, this thing, that thing, all the big functions happen in your family, isn't it? So many beautiful functions happen. At that time, what does a person say? She looks like a goddess. Isn't that what they say? Every woman looks like a goddess. She dresses in finery. She is wearing nice clothes, jewelry and all that, and she is ready for that particular function. But now, that was the only day you thought of yourself as a Devi. Rest of these days, you consider yourself as some ordinary person. This is what you make yourself into. It's not just your problem, it is all men's problem also. They are called Pati Parmeshwar or Parmeshwar kind of a thing. But look at them. Do they look from any angle as Pati Parmeshwar? No. The biggest crooks on earth they look like, you know. Sorry for that. I also look like that. So think like that. From which angle do you look like a Devi? But you are a Devi, you don't understand that. This is the line which will tell you that this is there in you. The soul is within you and the soul is God. And you have forgotten about it. Arjuna, this soul dwelling in all the bodies of all can never be slain. Therefore, you should not mourn for anyone. So now think about yourself. You are that Devi. You have taken this body. After this work is over, you will go somewhere and you will take another body. I want you to think. How many stories you have heard in the past where, you know, whichever village, whichever town or whichever place you come from, have you heard of stories that the Devi came to their house? She was like an ordinary person. Okay, she had a big bindi sometimes, and sometimes she came like an, somebody whom known, and then she said these words. So in your world, are you not going through all those stories where you thought the Devi took a form and came? You know, no? And this idea that the God has taken a form and come and gone, why do you deny yourself this idea that you are that goddess who has taken a form and that permanency of that knowledge is there with you? Why do you forget who you are? You are the divine soul. We are not talking of somebody from outside. We are talking Arjuna, the soul dwelling in the bodies of all. Have you seen? He is not saying one person. Of everybody. He is a part of this Shri Krishna himself. That is the soul we are talking about. But we have forgotten. So Radharani is also Shri Krishna. Lakshmi is also the same one. Can you understand? Lakshmi, Saraswati, Parvati, you name it, all the goddesses and all the gods that you know, they are also forms. And they have all come from one place only. You are also that form and you have also come from that one place. And you know, this is something which we need to know and understand. Don't be under the impression that you are some ordinary person. I want you to think of yourself constantly. Okay, but please don't attribute it to, I am going to do like this and something is going to come up my hands and some magic will happen. Please don't think like that, because the moment you think of God, you think of magic. It's not magic, okay? God is there in this world, in you. He has taken a body, He has taken a form. Your job is to behave like the divine only. Don't treat yourself like an ordinary human being. And that is what he says. And even if you die, even if the body dies, you are the Devi who is now going to take another body. I hope you get the point. Every time when you change these bodies, you are doing it for some purpose. You got it or no? Think. Our stories are there in this beautiful Srimad Bhagavatam. I am doing Srimad Bhagavatam. You all can join even the Srimad Bhagavatam classes. I have no problem. Please join. It is better. You will understand the various avatars he takes. So many avatars. The avatars are countless. We only know about Dashavatar. We know Dashavatar of Mahavishnu. But the rest of the avatars, we don't know anything about them. And one of the avatars is you. And that avatar, you have forgotten who you are. You think you are some person from some place. I am a woman. I am like this. I know I have too many problems. Money problems are there. These problems are there. We are thinking of that only. No, don't think like that. The problems can be solved. If you are the goddess, you go to goddess, you go to say Mahalakshmi and you say, Ma, I have a problem of money, I don't have money. Then Ma will say, okay, take this money. Something like that she will say. She will give some solution to you, no? In your world, why are you thinking that I don't know what the solutions are? What makes you think like that? You have the solutions. Find it yourself. I hope you get the point. And that is the reason why we have to always think of ourselves as divinity, not some ordinary human beings. And this will tell you that you are never born and you never die. You just took up a body just now for doing some work. Just like human beings take some body for some purpose. You see, there is a child, the child grows up, and when the child grows up, she becomes a young girl, and when the young girl, she gets, say, married, then she becomes a wife, and then she becomes a mother, then she becomes a grandmother. You see, that is the whole story of a person's life, All different roles you are doing. And one role cannot be mixed with another role. Roles are different. Like that, this body is there, this role is there, so you are taking this role. So it is just a performance of a role. Don't get carried away by the role. You are the divinity, and this is what we got to believe in. So we have come to the end of verse 30. We will stop over here.
Recording stopped.